Hey everybody, Stunt Coyote here, and I'm coming at you with a video that I've been wanting to make for quite a while, and that is the history of Super Metroid Project Base, and kind of how it came to be to what it is nowadays. And it's more like my history with the game, and I'll add some insight on other people definitely as well, but I want to explain kind of like how I got into it. I've been getting a lot of questions just over the last couple of years of me playing it that I've never really answered thoroughly. I've got droves of YouTube comments on a couple of my older runs that kind of caught some traction on YouTube for whatever reason, and I guess I've never really been able to thoroughly explain kind of how I got into it and just really the stepping stones of how it became a bigger part of my speedrunning career nowadays. So I guess we'll start back on my very amateur YouTube days. I recorded everything on emulator and just kind of used fraps to screen cap it. So back in about early to mid 2013, I thought it was a funny idea. My friend Kyle and I were doing some Let's Plays called Good and Evil Gaming. It's a pretty cringeworthy Let's Play channel is what my YouTube turned into for a while. And it was fun, but I had a crappy mic, and him and I just kind of went stupid and did all these dumb Let's Plays that made no sense. But they were kind of funny, and we had a couple really, we played a couple cool games, but for the most part it was just Goat Simulator and really weird Doom WODs and stuff. But we played, I believe we got into doing stuff that we were gonna get into doing stuff along Metroid, or hack stuff, but we didn't end up continuing the channel. So the big thing is what I wanted to do was start doing more Let's Plays or abusing glitches kind of videos. So what I did is to do the hack videos that we never ended up doing, I started looking through old Super Metroid hacks because I'm a huge Metroid fan. And I came across Metroid Construction, of which I had never seen before, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, there's so many Super Metroid hacks. And I could have content after content after content. So I started going through them, and I had played certain hacks like Redesign, and there's other ones like the Snow Globe and goofy ones like that. Phase on, but never really got a chance to kind of give my take on it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But while I was looking through them, I found one by the name of Dark Home Hospital, of which I made a Let's Play of. And what's kind of funny is the creator of Project Base commented on that Let's Play, and I didn't know who he was at all at the time. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I found Project Base, and then I played it, and I thought it was super interesting because it had different movement mechanics. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like Redesign. It's a bit different, and it's fun to play because it's the physics are changed. So I really got into it. And actually, since I already speedran the original Super Metroid, I was like, this is so cool, in fact, that it feels very fast paced. I feel like I kind of want to speedrun this. But before that, I did a quick 6-section Let's Play of it because I liked it so much, and I put it on my YouTube, again not knowing who the Begrimed one was, the creator of this game. He commented on my YouTube Let's Play of it, and he was like, hey, this is a creator here. Like, this is awesome. I'm glad you're having a good time. And apparently he watched the whole playthrough because he thought it was cool that someone would do like a let's play of it. I was like, no way, dude. Like, that's crime. That's awesome. Because, like, you know, on Metroid Construction, it shows you, you know, the author of the hack and such. So then, a little bit later, he was, you know, commenting on every one of my videos on Metroid stuff. And was, like, teaching me little by little how to hex edit. And really giving me a better understanding of, like, how he got into changing the physics of Samus. And then him and I started talking through YouTube comments about, like, how he got into hacking and, like the ideas he had for Project and, like, where he wanted to take the game and what got him into doing all the stuff he was doing. And I thought that was, like, the coolest thing ever. And so, you know, I started speedrunning the game, and I had this, oh man, the first recorded run I did was, like I said, recorded very amateurly on Fraps on an emulator, and it was actually of a previous version. The version you're seeing on screen now is 7.3. When I started playing the game, it was 0.5, so it was about 2.5-ish versions more primitive than this one. There was actually a lot less intricacy with the rooms, and a lot of colors were changed. This looks more like vanilla. The game was kind of like a dark and dreary, a lot of blues and purples and greens back then. This, yeah, it looks a lot more like vanilla now, but it was pretty cool though. It still is cool, but it was very different. So so as you can pretty much tell, the game is different. The physics are going to be slightly changed too. I had this really crappy run that was like a 37 end game, and I was like, you know, like that was cool and all, but I'm not really that great. So I put the game down for like a while. I did a couple more runs after that, but it didn't really go anywhere. So I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna keep doing my, you know, my hack or Metroid hacks content, of which I think I actually deleted most of them because they were pretty cringe. Anyway, fast forward about a half a year in the future. At that time, I had no idea what Twitch was or streaming was at all. I, you know, went over to Facebook to look for anyone else that maybe might have known what Project Base was, because I was just kind of like curious on, you know, maybe meeting some other people and be like, oh yeah, like I know that too, that's cool. And like, I don't know. So sorry, I'm kind of sick too, so that's probably not the greatest thing to have going in your ears, me coughing, so I really apologize. I'm trying my best. So I went on Facebook and I just looked up, you know, Super Metroid speed runs, and it came up with the Super Metroid Speedrun Community Facebook page, of which I joined, and I started posting Project Base videos, and like a couple people were like, dude, what are you doing? This is for the base game, vanilla. Like, what the hell is this, like, Project Base shit? Like, get this out of here. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, look, there's this, you know, I posted this other thing. I'm like, hey, like, here's this cool hack that has, like, really fast-paced physics. And my friend Phil, his name's Philemon, on Twitch, bless his heart, he's one of the nicest dudes ever, but I think at the time he was just like, who's this fucking new kid coming in with this ROM hack bullshit? And he's like, that's strange. Like, because I posted, I'm like, look at this hack with new mechanics, like, really fast paced. And he posts below, he goes, that's strange. I already thought, or it's just like, I thought Samus already had fast physics, like, lol. And he's just like kind of, you know, laying into me a bit. Nice enough guy, but I just thought it was kind of funny because I was new there. It's just interesting. some, you're so ingrained in this, like, everyone's kind of running the original game, and then you got this fucking weirdo coming in and being like, check out this ROM hack, guys. But anyway, so I got a lot of guff for it, but then I met this guy named Stealin' Bread. He's one of my best friends now, actually. And I also met this other guy named Linkameister, and he's also one of my best friends. So I met Bread first, and then a little bit after I met Linka. And what's cool is Bread actually introduced me to Twitch, which he's like, hey dude, like you and I should. He's like, I'm learning Super Metroid 2. You and I should race, and we should race on Twitch. I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but sign me up. And he's like, okay, well this is what you got to do and all that stuff. And he walked me through it. So I met him, and he had no idea what Project Base was at the time. So him and I just kind of like memed and played Super Metroid like vanilla. But the first person I'd ever met that knew what Project Base was, that I could actually kind of connect with because they weren't trying to meme me or make fun of me for not playing vanilla, was Linkameister. Yeah, he's really cool, and he's also really good at the game as well. Brett is also really good at the game too, but we'll get further into that here soon. So Linka was like, hey dude, like I also know what Project Base is, and like I want to get into speedrunning it too. You and I should go hard on it. So I was like, okay. I'm like, do you stream? Or he's like, yeah, I stream. So okay, so him and I, long story short, would spend like days, like hours and hours at a time every day in Skype, because Discord wasn't a thing yet. You gotta remember this is like late 2014 or early 2014. We'd spend hours and hours in Skype just talking about like different strats, like how to do this faster, like different routing ideas, or like different boss strategies, which items you could skip, which items you couldn't skip. Sorry, again, I'm sick. I'm trying to reduce the amount of coughs in this video. Anyway, all was fine and dandy, but no one really liked Project that much. No one really knew about it. So when we were streaming it, it was like I was in my chat, maybe Bread popped in occasionally to check it out, and then Linka was in my chat. So kind of funny. Very, 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 very small community for the game at the time. When I first met Bread, let me also preface this story of meeting Bread here. When I met him, he actually was like, hey, I'm really into the idea of like setting up a speedrunning marathon, kind of like how you guys know like AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick. He wanted to kind of set like that on a smaller scale up in his near his hometown. So I was like, okay, I'll come to that if you want me to. And he's like, yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. So I traveled from where I am, probably like 14 or 15 hour car ride to where he was to play this game that's probably, I don't know, 35 minutes long at the time the speedrun was. Also, I played like Metroid Fusion and stuff, but like imagine driving 15 hours to play like a 35-minute game. But I guess that's not so weird, thinking that a lot of people do that nowadays. So anyway, I met Bread through that and doing all that. So I actually ran this game for ECSM, and he was like, dude, like I didn't realize, because he'd played vanilla, he's like, I didn't realize how fast-paced this game was. Like I really kind of want to get into it. So he got a comfortable time that he liked in vanilla, and he's like, all right, dude, I'm going to start playing Project now. I want to get into this. He's like, okay. And he's like, so teach me what you know, and then we can all just, you, Linka, and I, because he met Linka through me. He's like, you, Linka, and I can kind of just go in on the game, and, we can make it our thing. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So he picked it up, and then Link and I continued, running the game. A big thing is we all kind of just focused on any percent. We didn't really think about any other categories. We spent probably a good year on any percent. So after posting, all three of us on our YouTube channels, different speed runs or iterations or better times or our PBs of any percent, this happens. So Grime actually reaches out to me on Twitch one day, and this is the first time I'd ever seen him in my channel. He's like, "Hey, dude, like, what's going on?" or whatever, like whatever Grime sounds like. I'm trying to like imagine his voice, like, "Yo, dude, like, what's going on, man?" Like I don't know. I have the voice in my head, but I can't do it. But Grime's like one of the nicest dudes ever. So yeah, he reaches out to me on Twitch and he's like, "Yo, dude, so like I got this idea, man, of like I'm gonna upgrade the game and like I need some help." I was like, "Dude, like I cannot believe Grime's in my chat right now. This is like so cool." And he's like, I got all these ideas, and like I've been watching all your runs and stuff, and I figured this would be like a good place to find you. And I was like, "Okay." So he's like, "Yeah, so I got these ideas. I'm working on the next version right now. I'm about ready to release it, but I kind of need some like beta testers." He's like, "I wondered if like you and like Bread and Linka could like test the game." I'm like, "No way, dude. It's like the coolest thing ever. Not only can I like speedrun the game, but now I've got the creator of it, of like my favorite ROM hack or video game of all time, asking me if I want to like beta test it." And that was one of like, that's pretty much the moment of when I went from just like having a very high like for the game, like I really liked it, to like being super passionate about the game and wanting to see exactly how far I could push it. And like, yeah, it was basically the turning point in my career with Project here. I was like, "Dude, like anything you need, just let me know and I'll try to help you out." So he sends me the new version, and mind equals blown. Like there's so many things changed. And that was also the point where I was like, "Remember the time that I said that like I'm gonna route all this out and like the game is like finally at a point where like we have a general idea of what a speedrun's gonna look like for it?" Well, take that, go in reverse, and everything has changed now. The game went from 0.5/0.6 to what he would consider 0.7, which was the giant upgrade of the game. So huge. My dog's also probably gonna bark at another dog. Steiner, come here. Yeah, he's seeing another dog outside. He's getting hella enraged right now. So if he barks, I apologize. Come here, buddy. Okay, so anyway, the game completely changes. We give Grime all these ideas, and he's like, "Dude, that sounds awesome." So he starts combining rooms. As you just saw there, the bowling alley and the gravity room, and the other room where you get the reserve tank there. Like, he combined all those rooms into one. He did that in a ton of places. That's what makes the run so much different, is now the RTA is changed because you're going to spend less time transitioning rooms, which means it's going to affect your in-game time. Your RTA, in the end, is going to, be less because there's less time you're spending doing transitions. You're just moving. So, we had to completely reroute the game. And here's the cool thing. Here's what I really find cool about Project, is that every iteration that comes out, every single version / half version / slight physics change, even down to just what colors the suit should be, is just completely community based. The idea that Grime, instead of someone just being like, "I'm making this hack here's this hack, and then they just drop it in the forums. They're like, it's done. I'm done with it. Grime will put out a version of Project and then watch everybody play it, hear everyone's opinions, write them down, write a checklist down, and be like, here's what I'm gonna improve on based on what people said they didn't like, or here's what I'm gonna cut back on because people said that like there was too much of this certain thing, or here's what I'm gonna put more of in here because people were saying there's not enough of this, or I don't know. But it seems like Project is completely based off of like the community. It's like everybody's game. It's not just Grime's game, and I think that's what he likes about it most. And the idea of Project Base is the game he made is a base for your new project. Say you want to make a new hack. Blood Sonic, aka Real Red, made Hyper Metroid, which was completely based off of the Project Base engine. Hyper Metroid is a gigantic, from the ground up, and a pretty popular hack. All based off the movement mechanics and the engine of Project. Really cool. So yeah, the idea is Project is a community hack, and I love that. So back to the point at hand. We were all kind of routing the game. There's a point where Bread was like, hey dude, I need to get out of my town. How about we live together? And I was like, dude, okay, cool. So Bread actually moved from where he was, where I went first to do the ECSM, the East Coast Speedrunning Marathon. He actually moved up into my place for about 3 or 4 months. And in that time, him and I sat there pretty much every day, either with Linka on or off Skype, but we'd sit there almost every day and play Project and just kind of find ways to grind the time down. And then eventually, I think a good RTA time at that point, I want to say was like a 32 for any percent. So it got a bit better, but it was getting to the point where if there wasn't any new tech, or we just weren't, if we didn't get any better, it wasn't going to go much lower. That's where Hubert comes in. If anyone in my chat, if you know anyone in my chat, they will always talk about Hubert0987. Hubert is one of the younger runners of this game, but he is also pretty incredibly talented at Project Base as well. We met Hubert, I think, right before Bread moved back home. And we used to do races with him, and he got really good really fast. And there's a point where like he was almost first place in most categories. He's been like top 10 the entire time. But Hubert really kind of brought some new ideas, along with Linkameister, just all new ideas to the table on routing. And we were able to get from like a 33, low 33, high 32, down to like a 31 or a low 31, which was at the time was huge, because we didn't really think we could get it down that much further. But here's the big thing. So it was like us 5. The community was getting a little bit bigger, like the people watching us, because at first it was just like me, Linka, and Bread, just all in our own chats watching whenever we streamed this. Whenever I streamed Mega Man X, I had like 15, 20 people being like, Mega Man X, but like no one knew what this was. So, you know, it's kind of weird, but the community was actually growing pretty decently. We actually had, I think, 20 runners. It wasn't just, you know, us 4 or 5 anymore. Even Grime was doing speed runs because he's just like, dude, this is so much fun. And through seeing the run, Grime was like, I'm gonna make the run more, or the game more speedrun oriented, even though it was already made to be, you know, speed ran. it just gave him so much more ideas seeing it actually speedrun. So there's a guy, you probably heard of him. He's a pretty popular speedrunner. His name's Desurect. He hangs out with, or he hung out with, I don't know if he still does, like Metroid MST. He's a really nice guy. DSO, some other Metroid hackers. They always do this like thing where they do like group speedruns or casual playthroughs or whatever. They'll take a hack and then they'll all just run through it at the same time and see who can beat it the fastest. Desurect was a part of the 6-7 way project base race or whatever. He was like, okay, I'm going to take the game, I'm going to make a theory task. So he did the theory task, which has like all human moves, stuff that like the real tasks. I think I might have mentioned this, but like a theory task is like humans could do it, and a task itself is like a tool assisted where like humans couldn't do it because it's so high input. So we did a theory task that was 28 minutes, and so we were all like, dude, like our time's like 31, 32, and we're really pushing to like get our time down. How would anyone ever get a how is like 28 human viable? That's just ridiculous. So Lincoln and I were thinking about it. I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, how would you ever do that? And this was with old route. We had a route that was like different than this one. That was still like 2 minutes slower. So we were just all really confused. And so what we did is we were like, okay, like everyone in the community was like, this is the time to push for. If this is humanly viable, we need to try and do this. Even Grime was like 28 minutes, like that's kind of insane. And he's like, he made the game, so like if he thinks 28 minutes is nuts, like it's gotta be nuts. So in discovery of a couple new tricks and just nights and nights and nights of practicing, I think everyone else was kind of taking a break at the time. And another runner by the name of Elminster, he started running the game. And he was, him and I were talking in my chat. I was just grinding out, like, pretty much every night for 4, 5, 6, even sometimes 7 hours a day. Just like, how can I make this game go any faster? And we found out what's called caveless. There's also what's called high jumpless. So what we did is there's a side section called caves that's underneath Brinstar, where like all the frogs and spikes and stuff are, where the power bomb pack is and stuff. We actually, like, I went through and I'm like, all right, we don't need those, so we dropped those, and we went through and I was like, okay, we don't need high jump boots, but it completely changes the entire run. So what sucks is like the run is a lot harder because you run the whole game with one E-tank. I'm not gonna get like too into depth on how the speed runs change. I can maybe save that for another video, like the history of how all the runs worked and how each iteration of our routes change or whatever, but that would take hours. So anyway, we happened to finally, like, I dropped it down to sub 30, which was like the huge thing. It was a huge thing at the time, and like I about lost it. Like, there's no way, finally, like sub 30 at a 29:59. I was like, finally did it. I like don't know how we can push it down anymore. Linkenmeister comes out of nowhere with this trick that saves another 20 to 25 seconds called Backdoor Dragon. If you don't know what it is, basically you can not clip, but like speed boost / pixel perfect super missile shot behind Dragon's room and get into her room from the backside instead of like going all the way around and going in the front door. That saves like 20-ish seconds, 25 seconds in any percent. The old route, anyway. Now there's a new route that I'm not even going to get into. So with that caveless, high jumpless, the run was incredibly hard. It was just really, 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 I don't know, monotonous to just try and grind out that hard of a speed run. Because it's like, yeah, you run the whole game on one E-tank, and ammo management, life management, it just sucked. So, finally, like, after months of playing the game, hours and hours and hours, finally broke the theory task time of 28. I think I had a 28:25 old route, and the task was like a 28:46, like I was saying, from Desurrect. And I quit the game for like a year after that. About a year, probably. I didn't touch the game. And then when I picked it back up, in the time that I stopped playing, Linka got really good, and he started playing 104%. That's kind of where everyone kind of just picked up 104%, and it became like the new any percent. No one really touched any percent. A couple other people after me finally got, 29s and 28s. So like by the time I picked the game back up a year later, my time really wasn't like that great anymore. But it was pretty cool at the time. I think there's like 8 or 9 runners that all have sub 30 now. And there's a couple people, like the world record right now is a 25:55. So that says something, and that's by Galamos, who's another runner who picked the game up. Galamos is really good. He started off by playing Hyper Metroid first, and then came over to playing Project Base after that, and picked it up in like a month and got about as good as everyone else, because he already knew Hyper Metroid, because it's like the same mechanics. Anyway, god tier Metroid player right there. So I don't know. By the way, an alarm just going off. Sorry about that. Anyway, so basically, like, we all have been grinding this game, and Project Base truly is like a community-based game. And if you've seen my Twitch recently, like, I've been playing 104% on and off hardcore for like the past year and a half. Honorable mentions like Linkameister coming in with pretty much starting 104% and what it is, and made it what it is. He had a huge part of it. Really, really prestigious runner. Galamos actually was the first person to get like a 47. 104% is a completely different thing. The first big milestone was like sub 50. If you could get sub 50, that's like a pretty good time. And then getting a 49 is like good. 48 is like even better. At the time though, back when we were really grinding it out, like we could never push 48. Like recently with the new 7.3 coming out, like I've been going in just incredibly hard, just every single day almost, like on and off for the past, oh man, I don't know, 8 or 9 months since I moved. Just trying to push the game to its absolute limit, and we finally got to a 44, which is just nuts. Low 44. But I just know like there's other runners that will tail me, and we've got so many new people in the community too. Like, it's just so awesome to see a game that, when we were talking about earlier, a game that started out with literally just me on a Facebook group being like, hey guys, like Project Base, and everyone's like, dude, like shut up, to like this giant, like the speedrun.com page has over, I think, 56 to 60 different runners on just like the last Just the last version, it probably has well over 75 to 80 runners, like total over all the versions, plus all the tasks people have done on YouTube, and all the theory tasks, all the Let's Plays and stuff that people have been doing of it. I even had Kotaku write an article about Project Base and and me, actually. It was kind of weird. I did not see that coming, but there's another YouTube video explaining that. But the game has just caught so much traction, and it's actually the highest speedrun hack of Super Metroid that there is currently right now ever. So a game that started out Grime just having like this cool idea of like making a reimagining of Super Metroid turned into this something that's just so much more, and so many people have had a chance to put their thoughts into the creation of the game. And you should see the list Grime has for the next version that's coming out, 0.8. The game is going to be different, completely changed once again. So we're all going to have to come back to it and relearn everything, but that's kind of the fun of it. It's just it's like reliving the perfect experience of your favorite hack over and over and over again. So yeah, I'm gonna for the end of this, I'm gonna read off everyone that I can see here that has speedran Project Base, because I want to thank every single one of you, and I know Grime would like to thank every single one of you, so I'm gonna read it here. So Galamos, Linkenmeister, Hubert, Brother Main, Carlito, Elminster, Steelenbread, Mel West, Node Kaju, Migasp, Gonzo the Real, 62C514A6, Lidistis, Mumudidi, Mazegoe, I have no idea how to pronounce that, Ezko, Chris the Hedgehog, Count Gooby, Grime, thank you so much, you actually speedrun your own game, Sean Cass, Dehobo King, Little Mail, White May Jabeki, Paulo Nintendo, Flipside 208, Diceron, Anarakis, Goop Q, my boy Artist Sage, Labros, Mega Magikarp, LF, Electra 13X7777, Field Tour, Beef Robber, Sabercuck, Rupee Jar, sorry, Purple Photon, Tritty 243, Laseki, Count Creep, Bethers, Ninja Cloud, Kerpuik, I have no idea, Fusion Warrior, let me see, there's some other ones here, Scorf 2014, Count Gooby, Dark Ducky, let's see, I know there's some other ones here, Mars from Venus, Devious, I think Diceron. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I think that's pretty much everyone that I can see on this list. Thank you guys so much, just everyone involved. I can't tell you how important it is to everyone in the community that us as a community comes together and makes this game just so much more than what it could have been. It could have been just Grime could have been oh well, no one's playing it, so I'm just gonna stop updating it, and he could have moved on to something else. But you seriously made this game way more than it could have been. So, and it's gonna be continuing to be something in the future too. So, I guess I didn't try to make this video to stroke my own dick or anything, because really this game is about the community. And I just want to personally thank everyone that I just read off on that list, because you've made my dream come true of giving me content for my Twitch and giving me a reason, everyone in my chat as well, giving me a reason to keep playing the game, as well as the other people who have been speedrunning the game and putting time into it. Everyone just helps each other, and that's why I love the Project Base community so much. And I felt like I needed to make a video on it because I'm that passionate about I'm that passionate about this game. So thank you all so much. I'm Stunt Coyote. If you like this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you liked the actual video playing on the thing here with me playing Project Base, this is actually 104% as you can see on the splits. But if you like this and you want to see more runs like this live, I do this on my Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/stuntcoyote. Be sure to, anyone on that list that I read off earlier, be sure to go follow them too, because they also play Project Base. I'm sure they would just love to have more people maybe from watch this video come in their channel and give them some hype too when they're playing. So yeah. And also my Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff is just Stunt Coyote. So if you want to follow me there in chat or whatever, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you actually enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, don't be afraid. Hit that fucking dislike button. I don't give a shit. Either way, I just want to let you guys know I'm going to be doing some Let's Plays of Super Metroid hacks here in the near future. And I'm actually going to not try to make them absolute cringe like I used to do. So be sure to look forward to that in the future. I'm going to be doing a lot of Super Metroid hack Let's Play stuff on my YouTube, as well as just some casual Let's Play gaming stuff as well. So thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day and or night, and I'll see y'all later. Maybe I'll see you in my chat, but peace out guys, have a good one.